dog.
Oh, Marcus Spears, Mina Kimes, Ryan Clark, Dan Orlovsky, and yeah, we have chills even though it's really humid out here because
to brush your hair.
That was legit. Oh goodness,
I
put
feel
that down.
good, y'all.
It's not good.
I feel good. The biggest dude on stage feel good. I got an air conditioned vent right here.
It is nice and cold
You need
down
an
here.
air conditioned tunnel.
Okay. There's a lot coming your way.
starting
on
off,
this show. We're starting on a good note. Coming up later, of course, we'll also have Adam Schefter as well as an interview with Jordan Love. You don't want to miss that. It's all right here on NFL Live. Okay. But let's get to the good stuff here. Eagles running back Saquon Barkley will celebrate his 28th birthday Sunday while playing in his first career Super Bowl. What a year it's been for Saquon as he's laser focused on winning a championship he's dreamed of. Now, it wouldn't be Super Bowl week without Sal Palantonio joining us here and, of course, covering the hometown team for you, Sal, with the Eagles. Sal, Saquon Barkley had his time with the media today. What did he have to say?
Well, Laura, you're right. Number 26 turns 28 years old on Super Bowl Sunday, and he is locked in just like this football team. Nick Sirianni said, with us back on the football field right now, our goal is how do we eliminate distractions and continue to get better. I feel like our guys are locked in, and nobody is locked in more than number 26, Saquon Barkley. Here he is talking about setting down his legacy and winning Super Bowl 59.
I don't think there's anything better. That's the most important thing is win a Super Bowl. And you put yourself in football royalty for the rest of your life. So I know it'll make my family proud, it'll make my father proud. And then when you look at all the things you want to accomplish as a football player since you're a little kid, I think you ask anybody, majority of people, their goal would be winning a Super Bowl. So we're here, we have the opportunity, and we just got to try to take advantage of it.
I love what Swagoo said in the introduction. The Super Bowl is the biggest communion of sports in the world. But before you get your communion, you got to have that baptism of fire of practice. And that's what the Eagles are doing right now on the football field at the Saints facility. They're practicing one more day here at the facility. Then they come back to the hotel, film study, and we'll see how Jalen Carter's doing. He's an important piece of that defensive puzzle, defensive tackle position. He's been ill the last 2 days, and we'll get an update later on SportsCenter on Jalen Carter. Baptism by fire. I love it, baby. Come on.
Let's go, Sal. Praise the Lord for that. Now, listen, it will be interesting to find out what's going on with Jalen Carter. We've talked about how crucial he is. As Sal alluded to, you can find that out on SportsCenter, and we'll have coverage throughout the day on ESPN leading up to the Super Bowl. Now, Saquon led the NFL in rushing yards this year. This is the 7th time a player led the league in rushing and made the Super Bowl, and first since Christian McCaffrey last season. Now, teams with the NFL's leading rusher are 4-2 in the previous 6 Super Bowls, but each of the last 2 have lost. The last one to win was Terrell Davis and the Broncos in Super Bowl 33 after the 1998 season. Dan, the phrase run game is broad, but can mean a lot of creativity as we see the trombone going there. What types of runs specifically do you expect the Eagles to employ?
Honestly, knowing Sal Pal, I'm surprised you didn't have a Catholic priest there for actual prop of baptism by fire. We talk about Spags all week long, rightfully so, defensive coordinator for the Chiefs. If I was Kellen Moore, I'd be like, you got to stop my counter run game. 1, they're great at it in Philadelphia. And then 2, the Chiefs defensively do not handle it well. I don't think they fit the gaps of it well. I don't think they take the blocks on of it well. And so if I was Kellen Moore, the different ways that I can run those counters were, and that's the beauty. We talked about it with this offensive line. All 5 of these guys can pull in so many different ways. And this Chiefs defense, going back to the AFC Championship game last week, just struggled with setting the edge on it, struggled with how to make sure that they were hitting with the right shoulder. If there was one run game that I would be paying attention to if I was Philly, it'd be that counter run game out of the gun.
I love that from you, D.O. And one, it declares for Saquon really fast about
downhill,
sticking his foot in and get downhill. The other thing, too, man, we can't forget is Jalen Hurts scored 3 touchdowns last week.
Yes.
And last time we saw him out, and his legs were a factor in that game. And at times when they needed him to be that guy. Teams are going to sell out. I'm interested to see how Spags is going to try to condense this box, but I think Jalen Hurts needs to have the mentality that we've talked about with Lamar Jackson at times. If you see it and it's open, go.
Yeah.
And go get what you need to
Early
get.
downs.
Exactly. And playing with these short third downs potentially takes some of that steam away from Spags coming after you on third down. You want to stay favorable. I think you do a lot of that with Jalen Hurts making decisive decisions to use his legs to get out of the pocket.
And I think that's key because I suspect they're going to aggressively play the give, right? Run blitzes going at Saquon. So there'll be opportunities, I think, for Jalen Hurts because if I'm Spags, I take that rather than Saquon Barkley.
Yeah, I think the huge thing is, right, who wins on the early downs? And I'm not talking about who can win between Spags and Kellen Moore, but which player wins his one-on-one matchups. When you look at this front of the Philadelphia Eagles, they're banged up in the middle of the offensive line.
Yeah.
Can Chris Jones, can Pennell on early downs take advantage of that? Because if you can get Jalen Hurts and the Philadelphia Eagles behind the sticks, and now you can bring pressure if you're Steve Spagnuolo, it's not about necessarily it getting there or coming free. It's about creating one-on-ones for your best pass rushers, and that's what we've seen throughout the season, whether it be simulated pressures or zone pressures, and now you have eyes on Jalen Hurts.
I had a question for you guys. I guess the weakness of Philly's offensive line, pass protection, would be Cam Jurgens.
Yep.
We've seen Chris move outside at times. Do you think this would present an opportunity to put him head up on Cam Jurgens?
They're putting him inside.
Yeah, you also have to understand, too, Chris Jones doesn't have the length advantage when he plays outside, which he can have some of those times. He doesn't necessarily have the power advantage when you're talking about Jordan and Lane on the outside, but on the inside, from a measurable standpoint, he's eons beyond these dudes, and they're also injured.
And Dan, don't think of it just in the passing game. Think of it in the run game. We just talked about that counter. You know the best way to stop it, penetration.
Penetration,
right? So he'll be obviously Chris Jones will be a big factor, but how he plays those runs. Are you going to try to be technically sound, or does Spags want you to just go mix it up and allow other guys to rotate?
If you're Kellen Moore, don't give him downs where he could be sound. Make everyone make decisions when they're playing blocks, when they're playing the mesh point, because if you can do that, now you take people out of the run game.
I want to go back to something you talked about, which is the simulated pressures. And we talk about how do you create one-on-ones, maybe not even for Chris Jones because you're rarely going to get those, but just generally, I think that could be massive in this game because when you're facing this Eagles offensive line, from a pressure perspective, one, you do want to create matchups on the inside, and the other thing you have to do that's so important is take away the first read. Jalen Hurts, if that ball comes out quickly against pressure, it's usually on the money. But something you have seen in the postseason and the regular season is whether it's Washington mugging their linebackers, the Rams showing an overload and then dropping the edge. If something's clouding his throwing window, he's holding on to the football. And if he's holding on to the football, that's usually when bad things happen.
So Sims with zone behind it, not Sims with man.
100%.
Sims with zone pressures.
There's zero chance, I think, that they send a lot of man pressures in this.
Yeah, Hurts ranks 16th in the league in QBR when he's under pressure this season. He ranks 4th in QBR when he's not under pressure. Just for reference point there, how different that is. All right, we're just getting...
Women lie. Numbers don't lie, Jordan.
They do not.
When did you become aware of this?
I've been aware. I mean, like last year when all this was going on social media, I'm getting tagged and everything. I'm seeing all this stuff, and I'm like, what is Toyotathon Merchant? What is this?
It's the key to all your success. Jordan Love joining us now on behalf of Toyota. We're so glad to have you here. You said this is your first event of Super Bowl week, so we're glad it's with us. Dan, go ahead.
Yeah, obviously Sunday. You played against this Eagles defense twice this year. Why are they the number one defense in football in your eyes?